back. It's the Far Left Lane Podcast, the episode 5 extravaganza. I'm Matt Nugent, and as always, look at that. It's my right-hand man, Kevin Sample. How you doing, dude?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I think we need nicknames. I think we'd be doing better if we had some nicknames. I thought of some for you. I've been brainstorming.
Like what?
Kevin Kickoff Sample. I think that sounds cool. I don't know about making nicknames for yourself. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No.
So you'll have to think of something for me.
Okay.
Well, this episode, I'm going to call you Kickoff. I've also been brainstorming like taglines for the podcast because I see like these little marketing things as potential merch opportunities in the future. So how about this? The Far Left Lane Podcast, Fast and Curious.
I like
You
that.
it?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, I have a bunch of these. They get worse. Here's the second place one. Tell me what you think. The Far Left Lane Podcast. No. Wait. Let me change the order. I don't want to bury like good ones. Okay. Yeah, I like this one. The Far Left Lane Podcast, moving at the speed of tight.
I like the first one better.
You like the first one more? Okay, I'm just gonna stop while I'm ahead then. Let's stick with Fast and Curious. I could see that on.
I think you started out with your best. Yeah.
Okay. Good, because the next one that I was thinking of, it gets pretty wordy, and also a little depressing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we can do a brainstorming session off air maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Happy Diwali. It's the Indian holiday. So shout out to our Indian viewers, listeners, and American Indian viewers and listeners.
Or future listeners. I'm sure I don't know if we have any.
There's probably an Indian guy out there who's like, wow, they know about my culture. But to be completely like transparent, I don't know anything about Diwali except for that episode of The Office.
Yeah, same here.
That's pretty much it. I know how to make some Indian food. I've got a bunch of Indian stuff going, but you ever make Indian food at home?
No, not like homemade. I've microwaved Indian food from those little packets that they sell at.
That kind of counts.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what they're called. I can't remember the brand.
Tasty somethings.
Yeah, Tasty. Something. Yeah, that's right.
Tasty.
Yeah. They're pretty good. I like them.
Yeah, I think those are pretty decent. You know what? Since I don't know a lot about Indian culture, let's keep it moving. Happy Diwali, everyone. But Kevin, Kickoff Sample, why don't you kick it off with some story, some current events? What's new? What's going on in the world?
Do you want to talk about the debate? I know you watched it.
Yeah.
I did not watch it.
Yeah.
I watched highlights. I feel like you might be able to do a deep
I
dive.
sat through the whole thing, so yeah. I have some hot takes. I mean, none of these are serious candidates. Let's be real. I know the GOP really wants Nikki Haley to be their girl, but their lady. But I mean, I don't like her.
Yeah.
I do like watching her and Vivek Ramaswamy go at it though. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that one scene where she was saying, "Get my daughter's name out of your voice."
Name out your voice.
Was actually using the app for a long time, so you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Your adult daughter.
She also had that stupid line, and then she called him scum, which I thought was pretty funny. She did have that line that made no fucking sense, and she got a bunch of applause for it. He said something about wearing heels. And she said, I don't wear these heels for fashion. I wear them for ammunition. And everyone's like, I was like, what does that mean? That means nothing.
So I actually couldn't find a lot of like videos where people were comparing like the obvious Will Smith thing where, get my wife's name out of your mouth or whatever.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going.
Yeah. It definitely sounded like she was going down that road for a second, and then she changed up her wording a little bit.
She did a good job of like she didn't like say voice, like she said it clear, but like as it came out, I was like, that doesn't sound.
What does that mean?
Get my daughter's name out of your voice. Yeah, it didn't make sense, but that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's just a circus. It's fun to watch. But also, I mean, it would be more fun to watch if like they really thin out the herd and we have some more serious conversations with, Biden, Trump, and, RFK Jr. something like something real. Because we are, we're like less than a year away now. It's actually starting to feel real.
Yeah, the debates are kind of disappointing. I feel like they never talk about, specifics. Like it's always like, I'm going to repeal everything, every executive order Biden made. And I'm like, well, I mean, not all of his executive orders I don't think are bad. Like, be specific. Which ones? Why? Like, it's all super high level. I understand they can't get in the weeds, but they could be a little more detailed instead of like, just generalizations. I don't know.
I think Tim Scott is definitely the one on the stage who's the most dependent on his pre-prepared talking points,
Mm-hmm.
He's way in over his head. He shouldn't be there. Chris Christie, I mean, he does say some little off-the-cuff things, but no one likes him. I mean, they introduce him, and it's just like, but Vivek gets a big pop, and Nikki Haley gets the biggest pop. But
what do you think about DeSantis?
He's just a goofball. Like,
do you think he'll be in third soon?
I heard in the next debate.
And polling, I guess, yeah. Do you think
I don't know. I don't know how well he's doing, but I did see Dave Smith, libertarian comedian podcaster, say that he said it kind of in a nice way. He was like, whatever it is, the X factor, the it quality that the candidates need to have, DeSantis just doesn't have it. It's like something kind of undefinable, but he just doesn't have it. He's like a goofy bobblehead, and he gets so flustered so easily. In that moment when Vivek was like, he said, we got two people on stage for Dick Cheney and heels. For a second there, DeSantis started to look like nervous, like, man, what PPD did to him on that podcast was pretty funny. Did you see the clip?
I did watch it. Yeah, I don't normally watch.
He's like, I can't accept gifts.
He wanted him to try it on,
though.
and like, then and there, and he's like, no, I can't do that.
They both sounded very metrosexual to me when they were talking about shoes.
Yeah.
Like, Ron DeSantis is like, he's like talking about his boots. He's like, those are just off the rack, blah, 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 boots. And PBD in his like funny way, he's like, I have some Ferragamo boots for you. It's like, you guys are way too into fashion. Talk about something substantial.
Well, that and
again.
He brought up Patrick. He brought up alpha males, and he's like, "Are you a alpha?" Maybe it was leader, an alpha, or a flag carrier. Like he not. It wasn't the alpha beta thing, but like it's kind of funny. Like when people talk about that constantly, I feel like they're automatically not alpha if there is such a term. It's like it's ironic.
Totally agree.
But
if you question anyone's alphaness, you're knocked down on the totem pole. You're not tough.
I was like, I don't think a real alpha person would do that, or they're worried or thinking about that.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's a good point. Well, silly GOP debates. Let's keep it moving. Happy Diwali again. What's going on in the world of space news, AI news? Anything you're excited about?
The only thing I saw, and there's probably other things. I hadn't had a lot of time this week to research some of this, but
that's right. Did you go to town or something? Like
we went. Well, we went out of town in Birmingham. We're still in Alabama, but we took the weekend and we went to like this lake house.
That's cool.
It was cool. We had a good time. We actually hung out with my brother and his family. But the problem was the lake. The pictures looked really nice, but like when we got there, the water was like so low. Like it wasn't like we couldn't fish or do anything, well, we did some fun stuff, but yeah, it was disappointing though, because like, you go to a lake house to do water related stuff, but
Is it like low rainfall this past
I don't
season,
know.
or
I didn't.
what?
I didn't. When I didn't do any research clearly, or else I wouldn't have been surprised. But yeah, we had like fishing gear, and like when we got there, it's like there was a little bit of water, but like the docks and stuff, like there was just you could just walk on the ground, like where water should have been. It was down like several feet. Um,
Hmm.
so
That's unusual.
I think I think there's
Weird.
parts of it was Smith Lake is where we were at, but I think where we were at, I guess maybe there's other parts of Smith Lake that had more water, but like it was pretty low.
It's a bummer.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what
Um,
I did this weekend. But yeah, you asked about space related
yeah,
stuff.
let's. Yeah, what
The
news?
tractor beam. Did you? I sent you a link for that. I don't know if you had a chance to look that over.
I saw you sent me the link. I didn't open it because I did read a similar article a while back, and I'm pretty sure it has to be the same.
Oh,
The
okay.
same
So this wasn't new then,
thing.
maybe. Yeah, I.
Um,
It was new to me.
it also okay. If I remember it correctly, the article I read was about like static electricity being used to like kind of clean space
Yeah,
junk.
an electrostatic yeah, but they I guess maybe they they made it seem like, oh, it's like a tractor beam, science fiction
Right.
coming. Yeah, and it's actually based out of
'Cause
Colorado. It was University of
okay.
Colorado that was doing this. But
Because I have this memory of reading this article and looking at the artist's rendering of how it would work,
mhm.
and then they're like, but it's static electricity, so there wouldn't be a visible beam, and I'm like, well, I'm out. That's not
Oh,
interesting.
yeah,
At least
it's not as cool for sure.
I'm just being silly, of course, but like, I mean, it doesn't actually hurt to like in the idea to be like, let's put like a diffused laser or something on it so you can tell when it's working.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, I guess they'll
guess
shoot they'll use an electron gun and it'll have to be from another craft that's somewhat close to it because you can't do it from super far away, but I think they said like up to 100 feet with what they're
That's pretty
testing.
cool.
Yeah. And then I guess
Yeah,
when
I'm just being
like
ridiculous when I say no interest if it doesn't actually look like a tractor beam.
it'd be nice if there was, yeah, I bet they could probably add some extra crap in there to be like, we'll have
Yeah.
like a laser pointed at it that's not necessary for the electrostatic part. Just
It's
to make
an
it look cool.
indicator
And
that's
we'll
just
make it
showing that it's
green.
on.
Yeah, we'll make it green. I don't know. There's things that they could do
Yeah,
to make it look
for
futuristic.
sure.
even though it's not.
Whatever mechanism they have for the static cannon, just put a little light on it for us, just so that we could be like, oh, look, it's working.
RGB
like in the
lights.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something. Just give us something.
Yeah. But I guess they'll be using that possibly to like push satellites further out in orbit. It sounded like originally I thought they were going to try to bring it in and like bring it to Earth, controlled somehow. But it sounds like they're just going to try to put it in like a graveyard orbit. They call it, so it would never fall back into the Earth. But
I think when I read about it, they were saying it was going to be used to like clean up space junk.
Yeah,
that was kind of like the top priority.
Yep.
Which makes sense because I guess it's getting a little dangerous out there.
Yeah. Speaking of space junk, the ISS. I keep saying IIS, like in a previous episodes. ISS. They're going to be bringing that back, I guess, in 5 years. I don't think they'll be able to use, since that's as big as a football field. I don't think they can use, electrostatic tools for that.
Yeah, I wonder what the limits are in that because in space, maybe they can move really large objects just really slowly.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. It seems like there's a possibility. But yeah, that seemed like also like very hypothetical. Like they're like, okay, this is a possible, like, because I remember in the article that I read, they're like, science makes sense, but there's just no way we can fund a project like this. You know, like you'd have to have, I guess, like Elon or someone.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if they had
like
funding for it. I don't think it said it in the thing. It was probably just they're researching it.
Right.
Yeah.
I read some other like kind of research stories that I thought were sort of interesting, but probably not big enough for a huge discussion. Just this was kind of cool, like talking about the challenges of 3D printing in space. I guess just because of gravity and stuff, they have to like use unique materials, also materials that they have on the moon and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So taking the titanium out of like the lunar dust, there is a way they can make titanium dioxide foam and 3D print that.
Oh, that'd
I
be
guess
cool.
it sets up quicker so they can make little why do I want to say habitat? That's not the word I'm looking for. Like enclosures and stuff.
Yeah, like a lunar base.
But they also said there's a possibility that they can make even like satellites and stuff from titanium dioxide foam, 3D printing it.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Titanium dioxide is one of these ingredients too that it's in everything. Like it's in there's a food safe version of it. I'm sure titanium dioxide foam for 3D printing is not food safe, but the food safe version is in all kinds of things. It's in like Totino's party pizzas and stuff.
Really? There's
yeah, it's
titanium.
It's in
oxide.
like 95% of Halloween candy and just like cheap impulse buy off the shelf candy. It's in like your toothpaste and medicine and gum and stuff. But it's one of those ingredients I see in foods. Like I'll see it in a Hot Pocket and I'm like, I don't think I should be eating Hot Pockets anymore, you know?
Yeah. Is it technically a metal if it's titanium?
I guess, but it's a colorless, tasteless white powder they just use for making things uniformly color in food and medicines and stuff.
The way you just described it sounds like it's poison. It's a odorless, colorless.
It's like anthrax, but it's in your food. Yeah, no, I should back that off too. I don't actually know if it's in Hot Pockets. It is in a lot of like frozen foods. Totino's party pizzas, I know for sure it was in those because back when I was like, these make me feel terrible, and I'm just reading through the 100 ingredients on there, and titanium dioxide is like
hopefully Big Totino's doesn't sue us for this.
Yeah. No, I think it is food safe. I think it's been proven food safe for a long time. It's just one of those things that sounds sketchy, and then when you hear they're like, oh yeah, NASA's gonna like extract it from lunar dust and make satellites out of it, you're like, is it food safe? Is it?
Yeah.
I guess we'll see someday. Yeah, I don't really. I didn't see a whole lot of other space stuff. The tractor beam thing, that is cool. If we can actually make that a reality.
And add RGB to it.
Yeah, get some lights in that thing.
On.
Otherwise, hard pass. Last week we were talking about XAI Grok.
Yeah.
And it just launched last Saturday, so there wasn't a whole lot of stuff out there yet. But I have seen a lot of screenshots and of people using it, and like what differentiates it. Have you seen like?
No, tell me about
this whole thing. It's pretty silly. The thing that makes it different from like other GPTs is it's funny.
Okay.
Of course, Elon would make it have like a little smart-ass personality, so that's kind of like its characteristic. It's based off of Grok is a verb. I looked this up. I was like, why is it called that? What is this whole thing? Grok is a verb from this book called Stranger in a Strange Land. To grok means to be like overly empathetic to the point where you and the person you're empathizing with basically merge into one being. So to grok that makes sense why you called it that then.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like tonality is from Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book.
Yeah,
so
I know
like,
he loves that. He loves that book.
So yeah, he made it snarky like that kind of writing, and Sam Altman had a really funny takedown of it, like when he first was playing with it, and
what'd he say?
He posted on X. He's like, okay, so Grok is just cringy dad humor GPT bot, like that's all it is. And Elon's like, he didn't like that.
Oh,
like,
of course not.
It's not
like,
it's not cringy dad humor, boomer humor, whatever Sam Altman said specifically, but it does kind of look like that, because like the Elon was posting screenshots, like he's like, where do babies come from, Grok? And then like you can tell it like, be funnier or something. And so Elon's like, be more vulgar, which became like a trending like couplet of words, be more vulgar. So
I was gonna say that how you just mentioned Hitchhiker's Guide, like Elon loves that. He had that don't panic, like that's also a line from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Right.
he has that. I guess he has this like written on the car that he shipped up, the Tesla car that's like orbiting
Uh-huh.
Mars. I don't know if it's still orbiting Mars or if it's orbiting somewhere else now. Um,
I don't know.
but yeah, he has like a little sticker on that says "Don't panic." Uh,
Yeah.
so that makes sense that he would do the same thing with this new chatbot.
It is just funny though, because he was like bragging about how it beats most other chatbots in most regards, and he was just like really proud of it. And then like you see like what it is, and you're like, oh, okay, that totally tracks with everything about him,
Right.
you know. But it's not really a selling feature. I don't think it's gonna like.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
not
think that's gonna
practical
make it.
for.
No, but I'll definitely play with it just to see how human it feels, because there is something about that like that's almost clinical when you talk to like ChatGPT, and it's just
Yeah.
um the other thing in AI that I saw from like the past week or two I forgot to bring up was this Beatles song. You hear about this like the
No.
last Beatles song? Yoko Ono, that was John Lennon's wife. She in the 70s, she was talking to or she was recording a bunch of like home tapes, really pretty bad quality. And then like in the 90s, she brought them to the rest of the surviving members of the band, and was like, hey, the song Now and Then, I think it has potential. You know, it could be like maybe the last Beatles song.
Mm-hmm.
But in the time in the 90s, we didn't have like the ability to isolate the stems of the song, the recordings with these really old tape recordings.
Right.
So it had like this really grainy piano, and then John singing on top of it, and they could never really extract it and make it like sound good. And then just like in the past couple of years, Peter Jackson, when he was doing this documentary called Get Back,
Mm-hmm.
where he restored a bunch of old film, and he did that with a war movie too. He did the same process where he restored it and filled in all the gaps. Yeah, he basically like made a proprietary stem isolating software that they used to make this song come back to life. Really cool. I love the song. I love the little mini documentary about how they did it. The music video is pretty terrible. They went too far with the AI in the music video. Having John Lennon there with them, it's creepy. It's like that uncanny valley stuff.
Where can you
It's also
stream
just
it?
kind of silly. Oh, it's all on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's called Now and Then. The official last Beatles recording. But yeah, the song is great, and the little video behind the scenes is a cool little featurette. That video though, so goofy.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, the Peter Jackson documentary is on Disney Plus too.
Okay. Which I have
It's
here.
really cool.
I have a login for that from you, so
Nice.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. What else is going on?
Did you watch? I'm caught up on episode 1.
I didn't.
You didn't watch it yet?
No,
Okay.
I haven't watched.
For All
No.
Mankind.
Yeah, I'll wait. What days does it come out?
I don't know,
Friday?
but I found out Friday that it was already available for streaming. I think it may have came out on Thursday, but I don't know what their release schedule is like weekly yet.
It might be like Thursday at midnight, because I think a lot of those shows they release on Fridays. Yeah, I'll catch up before next week, because that is probably my favorite show, and I would love to talk about it. There's this device that is called the Humane AI Pin. It's a kind of a weird thing. It's like a new category for like wearable tech.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of into it, but at the same time, like the price doesn't justify for me. It's like $600, and it's like the size of, here's like my earbuds case. It's about the size of this. It has a little magnet. You just clip it on to like your shirt. And it has like a LiDAR scanner and a little camera and stuff in it, and also a little projector.
Okay.
So the device costs like about $600, but then you have to pay like $24 a month to use it, because it is kind of like a little screenless phone.
Yeah.
In a way,
Companies
it's
love
always
that,
on
cash
the
flow.
service. Yeah, and you'll never own it really.
Recurring
You'll
revenue.
never.
Yeah.
So it has this feature where There's like a little projector there, so if you like hold your hand up, it'll just project like
That'll be the display.
information, visual stuff, yeah,
Okay.
and everything else. It has some kind of like a little like a small speaker that they say creates a little isolated bubble of sound, which kind of makes sense if it works similar to the Oculus. The Oculus has like built-in audio that kind of does that, where it creates these like little sound bubbles, but then if you take it off, you can't hear it. But if it's right there, it's
Right.
kind of like that.
Isn't there like little
So,
small speakers kind of positioned?
Really small speakers that I guess
Yeah.
are just directed
Yeah, directional
perfectly.
speakers.
So yeah, this Humane Pin looks really cool. I kind of like the idea of it doing everything you need. It just being on OpenAI all the time, so you can just like talk to it, ask it questions. But really, I mean, if you have this in your pocket,
Yeah.
like we're so used to this. I don't think we're gonna go screenless. I don't see that happening.
No, not unless we could do like contacts with the like a heads-up display or something that
Heads-up
gives you
display
everything.
and contacts?
And you're just like,
Yeah, I think that's
Minority Report
that-
shit.
I think that actually kind of already exists
It
in
does.
the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's probably not as like maybe as good as like what you see in movies, but
Right. Yeah.
although I'm saying this without having ever worn it, but I just can't imagine it being that. I know the military's using things like HoloLens and stuff like Microsoft, and that's a big AR headset thing. I'm just assuming that something like as small as a contact lens can't give you that many features, you know?
No, I don't see how it could even have like good resolution.
Yeah.
Like it just has to have just a few metrics that I feel like I don't know.
It just gives you the
Just having
temperature
a
over at the
gauge.
bottom right.
That's all.
And the
Yeah.
time. That's it.
Yeah, it's like super basic at this point. But yeah, this Humane AI Pin, like it's one of those things. Let's say like I worked in the tech industry and I was given one, be like, you want to test
Oh
this
yeah,
out?
that'd be awesome.
I think I would probably like try and see how I could like integrate it into my life in a useful, meaningful way, like that a phone can't do. But yeah, that whole like $24 a month, I'm just like, okay, so yeah, you never really own it, and
I think it's weird
You're
though that
already-
you have to use your hand as like a.
yeah, I think that's just like there's certain because the way that you would control it is like, so you're using your hand like this, and it's showing you, let's say, like the songs you're listening to, and then you sort of just like do that and that to like volume up, volume down. Kind of cool, like the controls, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I would feel dumb in public doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I wouldn't be like doing this. I'd rather just do this. That's kind of normal.
Yeah,
looking.
that or just like the AR glasses or something. I know there's quite a few different
Yeah.
glasses coming out that are like small scale versions of the like those headsets that are bulky.
Mhm. I think it's a kind of cool device, but I don't think it's gonna like take off.
Yeah.
Like critical mass. Like it's hard for me to imagine. People are so addicted to screens. I feel like we need screens.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know. Check it out. See,
Yeah,
just
I'll look it
take
up.
a look and see like what you think. I mean, it's not even out to the public yet. I think it like comes out like later this month. I want to see like an MKBHD video. You know, I want to see like some people actually hands on, not just like from the people that created it.
Right.
They're
you
in
want,
love with it. You know,
Yeah, you want some average person that's actually,
right?
not linked to the the company reviewing it.
Yeah, I attention though. So, but I just like tech, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that ridiculous Apple Vision goggle thing coming out, like they said it's like $3,500, and I'm still like, oh, I want it so much. That looks cool to me.
Yeah. It looks really cool, but yeah, the price seems a little kind of, I don't know. Compare that to like the Quest 3 or whatever the latest Quest is from Oculus. It seems like it'd be hard for them to get like a lot of market share for it, but what do I know?
I guess that they're they're calling it a computer, a phone, and a whole new category all in one device
Yeah.
to justify that price. But I'm like, still, I don't know. I'll probably go into debt for it. We'll see. I made up a game a long time ago, and I just realized how to be perfect for this for you and I. Okay, I don't have a good name for this game. I never really came to me. I just call it r/d question mark. So I'm just going to give you different things that come in 2 categories, and then all we have to do is just assign a political party to those things that aren't necessarily political.
Okay.
For example, cats and dogs. Are cats Republicans or Democrats? Dogs have to. Which one's which?
You know what? I'm thinking maybe dogs are Republican,
Okay.
cats are Democrat.
Do you have a kind of an instinct like why you might like the gut instinct? Like, tell me why you think that might be the case. There's no right or wrong answer.
So this is what I'm thinking. Remember how we were talking about people that talk about alpha males all the time? Patrick Bet David.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteed. I don't think he's a cat person.
Okay.
I think he'd be like, "Oh, I want a tough, junkyard dog or something." I could see him being, needing like this big, to match his personality. Kind of like people that have like big trucks. That's the only reason why I'm leaning towards that.
My gut instinct was the same, but it was different. Okay. I was thinking it because I think people that live in houses, I think of as Republicans, and I think of apartment people as Democrats. And I think cats are apartment pets, and dogs are like have a backyard. That's how the game works. You just kind of go with a weird gut instinct. Sometimes you're like, I don't think there is anywhere to go with this one. And sometimes you're like, oh, I already know the answer.
Yeah,
I know it's the correct. Let's do another one, okay? Apple and PC. R/D. I know mine immediately, but I want you to kind of talk your way through it.
I don't see Apple. I don't know. I'm thinking Republicans Windows PC. What do you?
Yeah.
Now I don't have a reason yet why I'm thinking that though.
I have a reason.
Tell me your reason, because
I think of like just PCs and IBM, International Business Machine stuff as being very capitalist. Just like, who cares what it like looks like? It performs in an office. That's good enough for us. Whereas like Apple's, they make the societal part of the company like a big part of their company,
right,
which seems a little more liberal minded to me. So I'm just going to go with that capitalist. Just get them computers that work.
Yeah, actually, now that you say that, that actually makes sense. When you just said the business thing, because like most businesses do run with like Windows laptops. It just works better in the enterprise for the most part. There are some use cases with Macs, but yeah, that makes sense.
Sometimes this game can be a little more complicated when it's a company, because then you think of maybe the company's politics.
Yeah.
Which kind of throws it off. But other ones like coffee and tea.
Yeah, this is hard.
It's a fun, dumb game.
Yeah. I don't see. I'm trying to think of people that are Republicans, like famous Republicans. Are these guys drinking tea? Are they having tea time?
I don't think so.
I don't think they are either.
Yeah, that's something just strictly based on personality. I'm just thinking of liberals with a nice cup of tea, and I don't know. I'm just picturing Republicans mostly with hot coffee. If it was a hot coffee versus iced coffee, assign labels to that.
Okay.
That'd be different. I would be like, oh, liberals are definitely cold coffee people.
Kevin's coming with his iced coffee and he's shaking it around, be like, talking about liberal shit. Healthcare for everyone.
Okay, let's do another company.
Okay,
but don't let it. Okay, Pepsi and Coca-Cola.
I don't know. That one's that's another tough one for me. It's actually harder than the coffee and tea.
Really?
For me it is. I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
I feel like
For
most
some
people
reason,
drink Coca-Cola. Like I actually don't. I think Ross was our mutual friend Ross is the only person I know that loved Pepsi growing up. Like I'll
I'm a
drink it.
Pepsi person.
Are you a Pepsi
Yeah.
person?
Yeah.
You prefer
Yeah. I
Pepsi
grew up
over
a
Coke?
Pepsi person. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
The only time I would ever prefer a Coke is if I was having some kind of a mixed drink like a rum and Coke or a whiskey Coke. I
Yeah.
feel like it has to be Coca-Cola. But that's not what we're playing. We're not
Right.
playing. I don't know. I just kind of think Pepsi, my gut instinct says, is a Republican company. Coca-Cola is Democrat.
You think so?
That one is a gut instinct for me. I can't really explain it. Maybe that's because Pepsi is more popular in the South. I'm not really sure why I'm thinking that way.
You think Pepsi's more Republican?
I think it might be.
Yeah. And Coca-Cola would be more Democrats? I guess Democrats have been winning the popular vote, and I guarantee you Coca-Cola is more popular than Pepsi from
Yeah.
from a macro level.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I am
I could go
saying
either
that
way.
without any research in it, but I feel that's the case. Do you think
Yeah.
Coca-Cola is
Well,
more popular?
this whole dumb game is all about feeling. You just feel it out. Like let's do this one, okay?
Yeah.
Not a company. Let's do hamburgers and hot dogs. Are hamburgers Republican?
I think they might be. I think Republicans are going to feel weird if they put a hot dog in their mouth. They're going to be a little self-conscious
Phallic
that they're
shaped. Yeah.
yeah.
There's something to
They're
that.
like I don't want to
I
look
think
like I'm
that might be
sucking
that
something.
might be the defining like thing for that round is the phallic shaped object. I think a liberal is going to be cooler with a sausage or a dog.
They'll be more open-minded,
And also
maybe more tolerant to maybe I don't know.
okay, let's go on. Let's go with that because I'm thinking now ketchup and mustard. And I'm kind of
Condiments.
thinking mustard's the Democrat, I think. And mustard would be more popular on a hot dog as well.
I don't know. Mustard's pretty popular in hamburgers. I'm actually thinking now that you mentioned this, I'm thinking maybe Republicans would prefer mustard if like generally older people tend to be a little more conservative as you age, and usually younger people are liberal. Younger people, babies and kids, they usually like ketchup, right? And then they grow into
Mustard
mustard.
is a more mature.
It's a coming of age type thing. So
yeah, that's a good point.
But your argument also stands, but it depends on the way you look at it, the way you frame it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these I could probably be convinced both ways. Oh,
Yeah.
let's end with one that I don't have. I just wrote it down, and I really don't have an idea how I feel about it. Automatic versus manual transmission.
My gut instinct is automatic is Democrat. Maybe.
Damn, why do I feel that way too? I don't know why I feel that way.
I think it's a lost skill. It's an older, a conservative thing, if you will, right?
Okay.
Automatic transmissions. It's newer. It's progressive in a way, right? Because it's the old ways where you did it by hand, right? You're shifting gears manually. I don't know. That's the reason why I'm thinking Republicans.
I
manual
100% agree with you. I don't know how I was already on the same page as you, but I just felt it in my gut.
For different reasons, or what were your?
No. When you said it, I was like that. I agreed. I just didn't know like why I was on that path.
Yeah.
And then you kind of laid it out in a way, and I was like, that makes sense to me. Geez. Well, this was a dumb but fun game that promotes
I guarantee you
dialogue.
we're going to be triggering some people, though. We'll trigger people. They'll be like, hey.
Sound off in the comment section. Tell us why mustard is Republican.
Or ketchup is Republican.
Or whatever. Or, if you disagree with any of those, tell us why we're wrong. Because this is a really important part of this podcast episode was the R/D game. I don't know. Also, if you have a better idea for a name for that game, then let us know. I say we wrap it up. You know.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll be back with the Far Left Lane podcast. Peace out.
Peace.